Joining me now is the former and he hopes future governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe. Governor, thank you so much for coming in. So, as I mentioned, and you know, Virginia has been trending blue for years. Democrats control both legislative chambers and the governor's mansion. Donald Trump lost the Commonwealth of Virginia by 10 points in 2020. The latest poll shows that you have a very slim lead over your Republican opponent. Why aren't you running away with this?
Well, first of all, this is an off year. If you look at the history in Virginia, it's not a presidential year turnout. Turnouts go from like 70% down to, somewhere in the 40s. Mm-hmm. But listen, we're going to win this race because I'm right on the issues. I'm running against a Donald Trump wannabe who literally wants to cut education, $10 billion, 43,000 teachers will be cut. He wants to do a Donald Trump, Betsy DeVos education system. He wants to take money out of our public schools and put them into private schools. I'm going to invest in education. I'm going to raise teacher pay. I'm going to do broadband for every child in Virginia and get all at-risk 3 and 4-year-olds. So I have 20 plans of how I'm going to take Virginia forward, get us out of this crisis. I did it before. Remember the recession and sequestration? Built a booming economy, 200,000 new jobs, personal income went up 14%. And I did it in a bipartisan way. That's why so many Republicans have endorsed me in this campaign.
You have a long relationship with President Biden.
Yeah, you bet.
You endorsed him, obviously, in the primary. Yep. You campaigned with him back in July. Mm-hmm. Your tone on the president shifted pretty dramatically since then. I want our viewers to listen.
Sure.
Can you imagine what we can get done for Virginia as Joe Biden as president and I'm back as governor? This state is going to take off like a booster rocket. Let me tell you that, folks.
We are facing a lot of headwinds from Washington. As you know, the president is unpopular today, unfortunately, here in Virginia. So we have got to plow through.
What changed?
Oh, I think, listen, I'm a very straight shooter. I'm very authentic. I sort of call him the way I see him. I think that's why people, like working with me. I'm very straight. We've got frustration with Washington. Why haven't we passed this infrastructure bill? It passed the U.S. Senate with 69 votes 2 months ago. I have been very straight on television. We're tired of the chitty chat up in Washington. Get in a room and get this figured out. I'm traveling all over Virginia. They're worried about minimum wage. They want child care. They want elderly care. They want to see paid sick leave, family medical leave, which I will tell you, my opponent is against every one of those things. I am for that. They want them to get their job done. They're paid to get up in Washington, get this done, and the frustration is, why isn't it done by now? 69 votes in the Senate 2 months ago. Get it done this week. Do your job.
I noticed that you say Washington.
Yeah.
And you don't say Democrats. No, you're talking about the Democratic president you helped elect and Democratic-controlled Congress. You're frustrated with your own party. Are they dragging you down?
You bet I'm frustrated.
Are they dragging you down?
It's not dragging me down. I worry about the people of Virginia who
but
want
in your
family
race,
medical leave, who want,
they're
I
making
want to
it
raise
harder
the
for you.
minimum wage.
They're making it harder for you.
Harder not. I mean, people understand what I'm doing, my plans, my 20 big plans to take Virginia to the next level. So they're going to vote for me, but there is frustration, Dan, all over the country. We just want action. That's why, as I say, so many Republicans have endorsed me. Bill Kristol's endorsed me, leading conservative. Dave Ramadan, former conservative Tea Party member. Why? I brought everybody in a room. This is what I want them to do in Washington. Democrats and Republicans when I was governor. Let's figure this out. No one's leaving the room till we all get something.
Should President Biden do that? I mean, we're talking about differences among Democrats in his own party.
Everybody should get in a room. This was just my style, and we're not leaving this room till we have a deal.
Would you advise President Biden to do that?
I'd love him to do it. I'd get everybody. But guess, I had bipartisan agreement on economic development, job creation, transportation, veterans. I got 70+% of my bills passed with the Republican legislature when I was governor. People just want things done. COVID has been so tough, Dan, on so many families. I have a plan to take us out of this. My opponent, as you know, is a Trump wannabe who's been endorsed by Trump 5 times. He said so much of the reason he's running is because of Donald Trump. But he'll take money out of education, public, and put it into private. He wants to ban abortions. He wants to go on the offense on abortions. He has said the number one issue, election integrity. He just said 2 days ago that he wants an audit of our voting machines. I wonder why Donald Trump hasn't come to Virginia. I mean, everything Trump says, this guy's in on.
So let me ask about something that you know that you're getting some criticism about, and that is a comment you made in your last debate.
Yeah. I'm not going to let parents
You
come
vetoed
into
the bill.
schools and actually
You
take
vetoed the
books
bill.
out and make their own decisions. I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
Now, the context of that was it was about a bill that would have allowed parents to ban sexually explicit books in schools. You're getting pummeled.
First of all, ban any book.
Ban any book.
Any book. So
Okay. All right.
a
Well,
class with
let me
25 kids,
just-
you want 25 parents
Okay, let me
books?
finish my question.
Yeah.
You can mention that. So the question is the fact that you are getting pummeled by Republicans who say it shows that you don't think parents should have a say in their children's education. So my question is, do you think parents should have a say?
Of course,
in their
and they
children's
do.
education?
First of all, they get to elect school boards, and if you don't like them, then you get rid of them. But let's talk education. Fox News came out with a poll the other day. Parents overwhelmingly support me on education. Why? I put $1 billion in as governor before. I redid all of our schools. I got rid of 5 SOLs. I have a very serious plan on education. $2 billion investment, raising teacher pay, getting at-risk 3- and 4-year-olds pre-K. Everybody gets access to broadband. That's a real plan. Glenn Youngkin, literally, his plan, Washington Post editorial, 43,000 teachers will be cut. We're down 1,100 teachers. In addition, it is a Donald Trump, Betsy DeVos plan of moving money from public to private. I will never allow that as governor. That's why parents support me.
And when you say parents should have a say, is that say strictly how they vote on the school board?
Well, clearly they have a say
Anything
to be
more?
involved in the school boards that they pick and so forth, but they want to know, are their children getting a world-class education? I did that last time I was governor. And let's be clear, in Virginia, we're 4th in the country on K-12. We're number 1 in the country on higher ed. So we got a great education system. The issue is, and he's trying to do a backdoor deal on the Trump, he talks about this critical race theory, and I got to be honest with you. That is a dog whistle. We don't have critical race theory taught in Virginia. He brings up this is a Trump, Betsy DeVos thing on education. I hate to see people divided. I am a uniter. I got us out of the worst economic chaos before. I'll do it again with COVID, and I do it in a bipartisan way.
I'm glad you brought up critical race theory,
Sure.
and you call it a dog whistle, but it seems to be working somewhat in Virginia. And the reason I say that is the following. The Washington Post talked to a number of voters, including one who previously backed Democrats, one who voted for you in 2013, but now says, quote, now is switching over to the Republican Glenn Youngkin because he believes public schools are pushing a radical agenda in which American history is portrayed as racist and transgender kids are encouraged to use the bathroom of their choice. So you lost that voter. What do you say to him?
I really hate to see what Glenn Youngkin is trying to do to Virginia, what Donald Trump did our country. I really hate to see the division, the hatred. We're putting these children in this horrible position. Let's just be clear. We don't teach critical race theory. This is a made-up, this is a Trump, Betsy DeVos, Glenn Youngkin plan to divide people. And it really bothers me. I try to unite people. I want to give every child, regardless of whom you love, the color of your skin, or whom you pray to, a world-class education. I did this before, but that's why parents overwhelmingly support me. I'm going to build the greatest education system, but electing Glenn Youngkin, dividing children, dog whistles, creating racist, I mean, it's horrible what's being done, but he will take money from public schools and put them into private, and 43,000 teachers will be cut.
I want to ask you
Read the Washington Post. I didn't say it, they said it.
I want to ask you about another issue. You mentioned Donald Trump. I'm glad I have 2 cups here so I can keep drinking when you mention Donald Trump's name. But you accuse your opponent of playing into the big lie by campaigning on so-called election integrity. You just did it this morning. I want to play some of your comments over the years on this issue.
Sure.
If Catherine Harris, Jeb Bush, Jim Baker, and the Supreme Court hadn't tampered with the results, Al Gore would be president. Folks, you know it, I know it, they know it. We won that election. We actually won the last presidential election, folks. They stole the last presidential election.
So, you're being criticized for saying, well, wait a minute. The Republicans are questioning election integrity when that's exactly what you did multiple times in more than one election.
First of all, the 2000 election went to the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court shut down the voting, overruled the Florida Supreme Court, and stopped the counting of votes. That is quite a difference from what you had in the Trump election, where 33, 34 cases, whatever it was brought up. Republican judges dismissed
and I don't mean to suggest
there's no
what
comparison.
happened in 2000 was so different. In
Right.
2020, Joe Biden won, full stop.
Fair and square.
No question.
But
I guess going back to 2000, do you think Republicans stole that election?
In 2000, I wish the United States Supreme Court had let them finish counting the votes. But listen, Glenn Youngkin has run the entire campaign on election integrity. He says it is the single most important issue facing Virginians. No, I think healthcare, I think dealing with COVID, I think education is. And he just said 2 days ago that we ought to audit all of Virginia's voting machines. Really? This is all the Trump talk. And I'm just surprised Trump hasn't come to Virginia yet. I mean, Glenn Youngkin has been in bed with him now since he started this campaign. He said 5 times he's been endorsed. He's honored.
Yeah.
But he says he's so much, after the nomination, so much of the reason I'm running is because of Donald Trump. Let me be clear, Virginians. I'm running for you.
Let me ask you while I have you here.
Sure.
You are the former DNC chair.
Yeah.
You were when your party lost control of the Senate in 2002. President Biden's approval rating is the lowest right now of his presidency. Data analyst David Shore warns this might be the high watermark for Democrats for the next decade. I know you're on the ballot in 2021, which we've been talking about, but put your Terry McAuliffe political strategist hat on. Are you concerned about your party's chances in 2022?
I think obviously a big win here in Virginia is very important for our party going forward. But I'm the one with the common sense plans. We're not going back to the Trump world. We're not doing that. The divisiveness, the hatred. You know, I was governor during Charlottesville when Donald Trump, and I talked to him on the phone, begged him to step in to stop these white supremacist neo-Nazis. And he said there were good people on both sides. We're just done with all that. So I think we're going to deliver in these things. I do want to thank the president for $14.3 billion to Virginia for the American Rescue Plan, including $77 million for vaccinations. But here's my message to everybody in Washington. Pass this infrastructure bill. We are desperate in the states. We need these roads and bridges fixed. Let's get the human infrastructure. Get in a room. Here's what we need, and here's what's going to cost. This should not be so difficult. And I had to do this as governor. And I'll say it finally. That is why so many Republicans have endorsed me for governor. Because I get everybody in a room. I just want to make Virginia the best state on education, on health care. I'll lower premiums. I'll bring down prescription drug costs. And I'll build a dynamic economy. 200,000 jobs. Personal income went up 14%. People are hurting with COVID. They need a governor who's going to work in a bipartisan way, who's got the experience. He's an anti-vaxxer. He's telling people, if you don't want to take it, don't take it. That's disqualifying to be governor.
Terry McAuliffe.
All right.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
I
for
really
having me.
appreciate it and staying and taking tough questions.
You
And
bet.
on that note, we did invite your Republican opponent, Glenn Youngkin, to come on the show, do the same, and he declined. The election is 3 weeks away, and our offer stands.